Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Finya. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. This will be my last TBR of the year for December, for the wintry days, hopefully for snow, and for the holiday season. I'm so excited to have a break from work, to spend, my days with my family, and to have some free time for excessive and obsessive reading. So yes, today I'm gonna choose what I'm gonna read. I have this jar with me. I wrote a ton of books on there that I want to read and that fit my mood for December, and we're gonna pick some and see what I actually will read. But first, a little disclaimer. If I seem heartbroken, empty inside, or just torn apart, that is because I've watched Arcane Season 2 and I haven't fully recovered from it. I mean, what the actual heck is going on? I really don't know. But yes, Season 2, Episode 7, around minute 30 is my Roman Empire. If you know, you know. I think about the scene maybe every 20 minutes. And one could say that it is a problem, but I love thinking about it. It makes me sad, it makes me happy, it just makes me feel something inside. But it also kind of gave me back my depression. So, it's a win-lose situation. I just had to get that out of my system. If you haven't watched Arcane, it's a masterpiece. I do think that Season 1 is perfect and that Season 2 seems a bit rushed at some times. It felt like I was watching an edit from Arcane, but that's just the show. It was just going so fast. If Season 1 was fast-paced, then what was Season 2? I don't know. I had to speak about that for a second. So yes, let's actually start with the video. Ooh, and by the way, at the end of the video, I will do some book shopping. All the books that I picked that I don't own yet, we will order online. So stay tuned to the end. And another disclaimer, there's some books that I've already chosen that I will read in December. First of all, one is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which is a small town fall, big city business girl falls in love with a local farmer kind of romance. And I've started this in fall because, everyone was reading it and it was really autumn vibey. But yeah, it was so forgettable that I put it down and I forgot that I was reading it in the first place. And I don't really want to take this book into the next year with me, so we'll finish it soon. It's not like it's super long or complex. I could finish it in like 1 to 2 hours, but I had to actually do it. So this is kind of on my to-do list to just finish that. So this is what I'm gonna do. And then there are two other things. One is that I'm reading a book with my book club on Fable, and that is Daughter of the Pirate King, starting on December 1st all the way to December 31st. And yes, this is my pick for the month. If you haven't heard of it, I started a book club and I want to read mostly romantasy, some contemporary fiction, maybe a classic here and there. I think I would just focus on like really popular books that I haven't yet. So that is classics, but also popular books from the last couple of years. I'll definitely look into the Goodreads Choice Awards for this year when I pick up my reads from next year. I just really want to read popular books, for the FOMO. And yes, if that sounds interesting to you, the link is in my description so you can read along with us. And yes, I'm happy for everyone to join in. And another series actually is Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a manga series that's also been turned into an anime, and I have the newest volume laying around for like months. And I also think that another one already came out and I really want to keep going with that. So maybe I will do that in December, maybe not. It doesn't really fit the vibe of December anyway. So yes, this is kind of a we will see situation. So let's come to this little TBR jar. I want to pick 5 books. That is one, because I don't want to pick too many and then finish the year with a disappointed feeling that I haven't finished my whole TBR. And second of all, I always miscalculate how much time I have in the holidays. I mean, that's 2 weeks of not having to work, but then also that's 2 weeks full of like social and family gatherings, and I don't have as much time as I think. And because I've already picked out like 3 books that I want to read, I don't want to go overload with this. So I will pick 5 books from 5 different categories. I've done some color coding, so if I choose one book, I would take out the rest of the pieces, so I will not choose another book from the same category. And here's the thing. There are 5 different things that I want to read in December that feel kind of fitting for the season, you know, for the vibes. First of all, obviously, that are books that take place in winter or like in the snow. So I'm thinking literary fiction, but it takes place in a cold setting. So that is green, I think. I'm not totally sure. Next up is, you know, some detective work. Maybe a crime novel, maybe a thriller. You know, I want to solve a murder case. And these are those bloody orangey brown pieces. Yes, and I don't really read a lot of crime and thrillers in my private life because I read a lot of it at work and I'm kind of over it usually, but I want to read some good ones. So this is kind of what's the mood in December, at least for me. Then, of course, we have some romantasy. That is, of course, pink. I mean, last week I did a whole video on romantasies that I want to read, so there are a couple more pink ones in here than the other categories. Not all of them take place in the winter, but, you know, it's just the romantasy vibes that I want. And then gray is for graphic novels because, you know, graphic novels are just so quick and easy and light, and I found some that actually give off wintry vibes. So I have 2 of them, I think. Not a bunch, just 2. And then lastly, blue, I think, is for classics. And I think there's nothing better to not have anything to do and you can spend the whole day reading, annotating, analyzing a classic. Sometimes when you have a lot to do, just 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there is just not enough to fully dive into a classic and get every bit of information that you want. So yes, for me, it's really something when I'm sick, when I'm on holiday, or when I just have nothing to do. So yes, these are the 5 categories, and let's start picking. Okay, I will shake, and then I will blindly choose a piece. Okay, this seems right. So this color means thriller or just crime. And I'm gonna show you first. I hope this will actually work. This is the book. I wrote a couple down, but this was actually the one I wanted to pick. Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I've not read a single Agatha Christie in my life. I talked about this in a TBR video of mine before, and yes, my copy is still on my shelf, still untouched. And yes, I'm mad about it, but this is the perfect timing. I mean, it takes place in winter, right? Does it? I thought while writing this down, but I'm not so sure anymore. But I do think, wait, I'm so stupid. You know what I have on my shelf? And Then We Were None. I don't have a copy of Murder on the Orient Express. Wait a minute. I don't know anything about these 2 books and I just messed them around in my head. The whole entire time I was thinking that I have a copy of this book, but I have a copy of And Then There Were None. Whatever, but yes, I did hear great things about Agatha Christie, about, you know, her most popular books, of course. I'm so excited to read a book where I'm confused with who's the murderer. And work, I read a lot of you know, crime and thriller books where just on page 50, I would say it's this guy and it's that guy, you know, and yes, I'm so excited about this one. So we will take away all of the brown ones. I will not tell you what these are because I will keep them for next year. So 2 out. And we will start the shaking again. I'm blindly picking something. Okay, I've seen a B. This is the category graphic novels, and it is blankets. I also know nothing about this book. It's a huge graphic novel. I think it's around 600 pages, and the cover is just a white, snowy landscape. And I thought, why not? This has been on my TBR for like years, and I think it's the perfect time to get around to reading this finally. And yes, also graphic novels is just the perfect light, quick read. You finish so quickly with it that, you know, you can be like, I did some reading, you know. I did 600 pages, but it's just mostly pictures. But yeah, that's what I love graphic novels. It's just that satisfying feeling of it. So yes, blankets. Okay, we will pick up this one other graphic novel that I have written down. Gone. More shaking. And then, okay. Blue means classic, if I remember correctly. Is that the wrong way around? I don't know. I hope it's not. Crime and Punishment. I've talked about this book in so many of my videos. So for example, in the video of like big books and like long classics I want to read before I die, this is one of the most important ones on my list because I have read quite a few Dostoevsky books, but not the long ones. I want to try out some shorter ones, maybe novella, to see if I liked his style before I dive into a 700, 800 book of him. What I learned is that I love him. I would die for him if he wasn't dead already. It's about crime and it is about punishment. And I will read anything what Fyodor Dostoevsky has to say, and the same with this one. I'm so happy for this pick. There are other classics that I wrote down that I'm dying to read, but you know, there's always time. Well, actually, there's not. I will never finish all the books I want in my lifetime, and that is one thing that drives me crazy. I just know that when I'm dying, I have not finished my TBR because your TBR is always growing, and you will never keep up. Think about that for a second. 2 more categories left. So we have romantasy and we have literary fiction, I think. We'll just see. Okay, let's really dive in what feels nice. Does this feel good? I would take this one. Is it right? Yes, it is. Once Upon a Broken Heart. I talked about this in my last video on romantasy books I want to read, and this was one of them. And this is kind of inspired by a video Emma from Emmy Reads recently made about like her suggestions for the winter reading. And she also picked this book because apparently it takes place somewhere that is called the Northern Front or something. So apparently it takes place somewhere wintry, but apparently it's not very important to the plot. But you know, it's still a romantasy book and something light, something for escapism, something for, you know, just losing yourself in. And I heard good things about this. Even if it's not great, I would think I will enjoy it. But if there's one genre where I'm not critical at all, that's romantasy. I just sit there, simp, giggle, kick my feet, and be happy that there's 2 people falling in love in a magical setting. And I hope this is gonna be that. I have no idea what's it about. If I have known at some point, I've forgotten. So yes, that is my romantasy pick. So taking out the romantasies, we will never know what was on them. Okay, shaking for the last time. Let's take this one, just the proper way around. It is this book. I can actually see it through the paper. It's Beartown. This is, I think, one of the most popular picks for winter because it takes place in Beartown. Is this actually a city? Is this a town? I don't know, but I think so. I think it's about a small town and it's snowy, it's icy, it's wintry, and it's about the people living in Beartown. I think that's what I know about this book. And I read a short story from Frederick Backman a while back in a video where I read short stories for the whole week. And this book had me in tears. It was so beautiful. It was about a grandpa who has dementia and is dealing with that, talking to his grandson in his head and kind of wrapping up his life and sharing his thoughts. And it had me in tears. It had me bawling my eyes out. It was so good. And I just loved his writing style in general. And I'm really excited to finally read a novel of him. I heard very great things about anxious people, a man called Ove or Ov, I don't know how to pronounce him, but yeah, he's a very omnipresent author in the literary fiction genre, and I just can't wait to read something from it, and especially something so fitting for this season. So, a quick recap. We have Murder on the Orient Express for crime and thriller. Then we have Beartown for literary fiction. We have Crime and Punishment for classic, Blankets for graphic novels, and Once Upon a Broken Heart for romantasy. I'm so excited to read all of these. A lot of these have been on my TBR for so long. And yes, I'm someone who kind of gets a bit itchy if I have something that I want to read for ages and then doesn't get around to it. So we will do that. Let's start book shopping. I do already own a copy of Crime and Punishment. I have these German beautiful editions. They are by Fisher, that's the publisher. And I love that every book of his has a color palette, has an accent color, and they just look so beautiful on the shelf. And the covers are so stunning. I mean, it just looks so good. And this is my copy for Crime and Punishment. These are new translations by Svetlana Gaia, and I've heard great things about these translations. Apparently, she's just nailed what Dostoevsky wanted to say. And what I can say from these two books, I love her writing style and her translation. One thing I don't like is that they changed the German title for Crime and Punishment. It used to be Schuld und Sühne, and now it's Verbrechen und Strafe, which is similar, but I just like the old one way more. And I don't know why they did that, if it's only for these editions, if at some point everyone's just decided it's different now, I don't know. But yeah, Crime and Punishment is long, but a look at the floppiness. Look at this. This is, without breaking it in, this is just how it plays when you have it in your hand. It doesn't break. I love everything about these editions, and I will get them all. And I plan on reading his whole bibliography anyway, so yes, I feel very good about collecting these. So I will start off with Bear Town, and these are the books I found. This is literally just this one edition, so apparently I'll get this one. And they all seem to match. And they're all by Penguin in English, and yes, actually 490 pages is more than I thought it would be. I thought it was more like a 300-page book. Yes, this looks very good. It's kind of pretty. It's not my cover, really. I am just not a huge fan of most literary fiction covers. So yes, but we will get this, put it into the basket. Then we will continue with Once Upon a Broken Heart. We will put in the filter in English, and yeah, I think that's all. So I think these are just 1, 2, and 3. Stunning sequel and the final book, and they all look matching, right? So do we... Yes, these are actually the editions I have seen, but they are hardback, right? We can get them as a set. Is that something we want for 108 euros? Why? All of these are like roughly 10 euros. Why would I pay 100 euros? I don't even know. Oh, I've read this for work actually. Yes, but it seems like these are the only editions. These are way more expensive. This is also paperback, but 17 euros. So I do think that we will get this, or we will get it on Kindle, you know? Sometimes I choose if I want a paperback or a hardback or a Kindle on how much I think that I will love it. And I do think that I will like it, but do I like it enough to have a physical copy of it? And I'm really bad at selling books, but I do want to read some more physical books because, you know, for the last couple of months, I've been almost exclusively reading on Kindle. So, you know what? I will get this as a physical copy. You know what? We'll just do it. Then we have Murder on the Orient Express. As I said, I have a couple of And Then We Were Nuns, so we're gonna check what edition I have. Like, I don't want to get out and measure it, so we're just gonna see what I've ordered. So this is the copy I have of And Then There Were None, and these are the measurements. So this pops up and it looks similar, right? But then the measurements are off. Like, what is up with that? I do remember that it's quite small, and this one is kind of taller, right? It's so short. I have no idea how she would do a good crime murder story, but apparently she has done that. So then we will come to blankets, and this is where I struggle. Oh, blankets. That's the problem I see here. It's very expensive. This is just a paperback, and it's basically the same length as the Attack on Titan omnibus editions I have. But why is it so expensive? I don't remember what the omnibus edition, it was around 15, 20 euros, and this is like double. So I think I'll get this as a Kindle. Which I do later, I think, not now. I mean, it's pretty long. If someone put in the work, then I get why it's that expensive. I will look into the Kindle later. I think I'm not gonna order this now because it's just so expensive, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. These are the ones I have, and they look so good. I'm so excited to read all of these, and they're only 26. I mean, I can put some more in, but no, I'm not gonna do it. I will buy them now, and it's done. It is done. They are coming tomorrow and the day after, and I'm so excited. But I do think I will hold off until December 1st. So these will be my December reads, and I will, yes, I'm so ready to read them. I'm not sure about the order yet. Maybe I'll just do some mood reading and pick up whenever and whatever I want to read. I mean, if I have a couple of weeks left of work anyway. But yes, I do think that I would save Crime and Punishment for when I don't have work to really dive into it. Like the minute I wake up, I will have my Crime and Punishment copy and just have a pen and sticky notes and like tabs and everything is ready, and I would just do that the whole day. It will be so good. I do think I would start some romantasy. Thank you so much for tagging along, you know, listening to my Arcane rant, picking out my reads for summer with me, doing the book shopping with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye.